I'm being really honest, I've really struggled with this pitch.
Everything that you've done so far is spot on.
I think you could probably learn from me.
I think this development, unfortunately, is the definition of risk.
I think that's a bit harsh.
We're going to offer based on a lease option, so we're going to offer them a lease.
What?
Property Elevator is back and we are bigger than ever. This year, we see our angels looking to invest their hard-earned cash into some of the best property deals on the market. Will our angels be keeping their lights green, or will they be turning them red? And to shake things up, I'd like to introduce you to the lender, who'll be giving their insights into how these deals could potentially be viewed from a lending perspective. Our angels are seasoned developers, mentors, and investors with a combined experience of over 100 years. They are Paul Mahoney, Ranjan Bhattacharya, John Howard, Hayley Andrews, and Nicholas Wallwork. Unlike the angels, our lender, Scott Marshall, can't shake hands on any of the deals. So, it's up to our candidates to impress one of the 5 angels for that all-important guidance and cash. So, let's meet some of the hopeful candidates pitching their deals on today's show. Kirk, hello and welcome to Property Elevator today.
Oh, I'm so excited to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's brilliant to have you. So tell me firstly a little bit about the history and the backstory of you and property. Do you have much experience at all?
Yeah, so I started off in property about 10 years ago when I left the military. I was in the army for 10 years, and when I came out I started working as an estate agent actually. And then since then I've started on my own property journey, buying properties for myself, for my own portfolio.
Okay, well good luck. We're going to send you up now and I will chat to you when you get back down, but I hope it's a good result for you. My fingers are crossed.
Thank you.
Take the stairs.
Hello Angels, my name's Kirk Shepherd and I'm here today with a development opportunity in Preston, Lancashire. The development itself is 307 apartments and it's over 22 floors. It has parking downstairs as well for about 250 vehicles, which is great for that location. The money I'm actually looking for an investment is 2 million. And that's going to be broken down into 2 parts. 1.7 million for the purchase of the land with the planning permission, and then the 300,000 is to get the first month off the ground before the development finance kicks in. Preston's a great location as well. I was posted there probably 13, 14 years ago with the military.
Kirk, thank you very much. It's great to see you.
Just some questions around the proposed sale prices. So it seems that the expectation is to sell the 1 beds for around 200,000, the 2 beds for around 275. Just wondering, how much research have you done on comparables in Preston?
Yeah, so in terms of the comparables, the person that we're actually getting the development off is an estate agency there. So they've obviously given me their numbers, maybe slightly inflated. I've done a bit of market research, which I've added to the pack as well. I feel them prices are achievable.
I suppose I'm just a little bit concerned that the average flat price in Preston is £90,000. So it's quite a lot more than the average, but obviously it will be higher than average quality. So it's only the agent that's selling it to you that you've looked at comparables from?
No, so I obviously, I'm an estate agent as well. So when I left the military 12 years ago, I went into a estate agency. If you actually look at Media City when they built Salford, I sold a lot of them apartments off plan when that was done, and it was a similar situation. If you looked at Salford at the time, you could buy a terrace property for 30 grand. As soon as the BBC moved in, they threw up the high rises in Manchester, Salford. The prices went through the roof. It was a 2-year build. We were selling stuff at 200,000, and by the time it was built, they were reselling close to 300. So the investors that got in early on them.
Well, that's when the market was hot.
Yeah, it was.
The market was hot.
Also, you had the BBC move in.
Yeah, I think the UCLan, the university, is very popular for international students. So I think getting it out there, there's a lot of HMOs and student accommodation. I think if we tie in with them or get the sales agent to tie in with them, they can pull the international students.
Just on, obviously, the flow of sales, have you done kind of, you've said you've looked at your comparables, you've got, you've priced yourself correctly in terms of the product you're putting back to the market. Have you looked at the flow of sales in that area? What's it look like? Who's your competition? Who's your audience?
Yeah, so the great thing with this site and this development is it's the first of its kind, and I believe once that goes up, that it's going to end up like Manchester. You see it driving into London. The skyscrapers are constantly throwing them sort of buildings up. So once that happens in Preston, it's just going to be a chain reaction. The beauty is, because you're the first one up, as long as it's done to a very high standard, that is going to be the pinnacle.
But is there an audience therefore? What research have you done to identify that people are prepared to pay, £100,000 to £150,000 more than what the average property, you said £90,000?
Yeah.
Is selling in that particular area?
Yeah, it's more from an experience point of view. We have done the research, but as I previously mentioned, in Salford, I know it's a different location, but it's still the northern powerhouse, so to speak, with all them cities under that belt. But yeah, I think with the international students, you tend to see a lot more money, people coming from China, the UAE, to study and to pay that sort of money.
Yeah, okay.
Can I lead on from your pension fund comment there, if I may? What sort of yield are the pension funds buying at? So you're assuming that you're going to rent these out on the buy-to-let market and sell them as tenanted investments to a pension fund, or the whole block? Sorry, was it the whole block?
The whole thing. You'd probably try and retain the freehold or sell the freehold as a separate lot. It depends what strategy the pension fund's looking at. They might want to keep the freehold and the building.
I think that if they're buying the whole building, they'll want the freehold, without a doubt.
That's Nicholas, that's basics, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, basics.
Well, he wasn't aware of that because he was talking about selling it individually, so it's not necessarily basics for everyone. There was a value to the freehold a number of years ago, but they've tightened down on freehold selling leases, and it's now
zero.
Much harder to make any money, or any, exactly. So by selling the whole block, your issue is going to be the discount a pension fund's going to want by buying all those apartments. It's going to be at least 10%, it could be more, and on a site of this size, the percentage profit margins are sometimes less than £1 million commercial conversion, where you might be lucky enough to get 20 to up to 30% return on GDV. But here, it might be a little bit less percentage, but the cash value is still going to be huge.
Ranjan.
Kirk, I admire your ambition. 22-floor building. I think that's the tallest building anyone's ever pitched on Property Elevator to date. What I wanted to get to, because we're talking here about a 25 million build cost to build 307 apartments, 11% interest per annum, and you're saying we're going to deliver it in 18 to 24 months. That requires a serious level of experience in doing these mega projects.
That's why he's here.
And I just wanted to know a little bit about your background in that area, in delivering projects of this size.
Yeah, so this would be the first project of its size for myself. But in terms of the network that I've built over the last 10 years, there's project management companies, which are obviously that's where the figures have come from today. And they've obviously got experience in that field. And that's where the figures and numbers, so the 18 months, the 24,000 or 25,000 build cost, it has all come from the professionals in their own field. So I'm not under any illusion that I'm just going to walk in and start project managing a job of that size. I know how difficult project managing multiple buy-to-lets or multiple renovations is, because that's what I currently do now. So it's just having the right people in place, and hence the reason I'm here today.
My turn. As you might know, out of all the people here, I'm the only one who's developed tower blocks. So I'm the person you need to concentrate on, Kirk, to be quite blunt about it, because I can't see this other lot doing anything. Okay, so we have a situation where, what is the square footage of the block?
The whole block in total, square meterage, good question.
It's a very basic question, Kirk, and one you should know if you're coming in here looking for this sort of funding.
I understand that. I don't even know if I put it in the pack, but I can find that out.
Okay, well, you should know it, with all due respect. So 25 million build cost sounds very light for 315 flats, yeah. So who's giving you those figures?
So that's coming from a project management company that I've worked alongside before, and they're the go-to guys. So they're 2 ex-military guys that have set up the project management company, and I know them from.
Well, I spent 26.5 million on 150 flats, and the shell was already up 2 years ago. So I really want to talk to your guys, because if they can genuinely do that, then I'll be very surprised. How much have you got in for consultancy fees?
They've gone for the whole package with the management company's 300,000.
Through nowhere near enough.
That's nowhere near enough.
Nowhere near enough, Kirk. Well, I say that, I spent 850,000. So you think you've got the whole thing financed apart from 2 million quid?
I spoke to the broker and he said something on this scale, as long as the right people were in place, could be 100% funded, but in obviously intervals.
So really admire the fact that you've come in with a deal of this size, with the ambition that you've got, and pitched it in the way you've pitched it, and you've pitched it very, very well. Going back to the size of the scheme and what you're looking to do, a scheme of this size really needs the collaboration of a whole team of experts, whether it's architects, M&E, whether it's structural engineers, lenders, investors, developers. But one of the things that's really important is to understand how a deal like this is likely to be structured by a lender. Okay, and what's called the capital stack is going to be very important in terms of the structure. So if you've got a purchase price and a build cost that together come to about £27 million, okay, if I've got my numbers right, then you're going to have a mixture of senior debt, maybe stretch senior, mezzanine, preferential equity. There's a whole what's called a capital stack that people are looking for in terms of getting returns. So the senior lenders are likely to charge 4-ish, okay, over what's called SONIA, which is not dissimilar from base. The junior lenders are likely to charge 10 to 12% over SONIA or base. So the cost that you've put into the pack of around 11% for development finance, what you should be looking for is actually the total blended cost that's going to make this stack up. And probably from a blended perspective, you're looking at a much higher figure.
What do you have in the numbers for the cost of sale for selling these flats?
Yeah, so normally an estate agent's going to look for 1.5% as a sales fee. I think we can negotiate that down to 0.5%, maybe.
Not for off-plan sales?
No.
Off-plan, they'll want 5, 6, 7, 8% for you to sell anywhere near this number of units.
Okay. I think
I'll say where I am. I think this development, unfortunately, is the definition of risk. Getting involved in this as an angel or even yourself, there's going to be personal guarantees involved. We're talking tens of millions of pounds. If it goes wrong, you lose everything. And I also think there's a big risk that when this gets to, if it gets built and you do sell them overseas and through those types of agents, there's a huge risk that it will massively undervalue because of the lack of comparables in the area, and that means people won't be able to get mortgages. So for all those reasons, it's not one for me.
Thank you.
Ranjan?
I honestly don't have faith in the figures. I can't.
We don't know where Preston is either.
I can't believe we can get this developed in 24 months. Such a big scheme. You're relying on 25 million of debt. That will spiral up as the time frame goes up. I just don't see it. And I also don't see I could get it if you said, listen, we've built 3 or 4 schemes of 50, 60 flats, and now we're doing this. I can get that step up. But to step up from 0 to 307 flat, 22 tower scheme, I think is a bit too much of a jump for me to want to commit to. So for that reason, I'm not going to partake today.
Thank you.
Hayley?
Yeah, so I kind of agree with the guys. I think this is an ambitious project for you first kind of, high rise. 307 units. My worry with this is the build costs are too low. Your project length is not long enough. Oversupply for the current demand. I understand, regeneration is going to obviously bring people to the area, employment, and that will improve. However, I always look at it, what is it right now? It is the definition of risk. So for that reason, great pitch, love you, but it's not for me.
Thank you.
Nicholas?
It's too big for the current market. However, you came up and you are really impressive and you're highly investable. We always say on the show, bring a deal that's big enough for the angels. You've certainly done that. Regrettably for me, it's a bit too far the wrong way. But fair play to you for doing it, and thank you, you've been brilliant. So.
Thank you.
Kirk, that leaves me, I think. So, you need to go back, get the planning sorted out for another 3 years, give yourself the breathing space. It will take 9 months to get this started. By the time you've gone out to tender, got the tenders back, sorted out the funding, it'll be a good 9 months. The other issue you have is that you're looking to sell half the block and rent half the block, which makes it a rental block. The flats will be downvalued because of that. So you've got to make your mind up what you're doing. You're either doing 2-3 things in my view. You're either selling them all off, as owner-occupiers, which is unrealistic in Preston, I would say. Sell half off and half not. And that's unrealistic because they'll be downvalued in my view. The best deal here is to find an American fund or a Canadian fund to pre-fund the whole scheme for you, okay? So there's no interest costs then whatsoever because they'll pre-fund it and then they'll fund it as the process goes through, and then they'll buy it off you at the end. And they'll pay at the moment about a 6.5% yield. However, I can make this small deal fit for you so it works over a long period of time if your build costs are right. So what I'm going to say to you is I'm willing to help you. I can't help you today, but if we go away, it's all about making the deal, putting the deal in the correct way to the correct people, and then see whether we can find a fund to fund it from day one. So it's a no from me today, but there is potential.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming today. It's a no today, but speak to me afterwards and let's see if we can help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought you'd have done that one, John.
I thought that was right up your alley, John. Why don't you go for
Well, that's why it needs to be rejigged. It totally needs to be rejigged, and then there is an opportunity, and I can borrow the money with no personal guarantees on that.
Wow.
So that is the key, and I think I can borrow it at about 6.5%. So off the government. So that makes it much more doable. But the difficulty is, I don't think the costs are right.
No.
No.
I mean, I don't know who his QSs are, but I want to look into that.
Oh, Kirk, not quite the outcome then that we'd hoped for, but how are you feeling?
Yeah, it was absolutely great experience. They were obviously all lovely, and I got some great information from them as well.
Great. So what's the main takeaway you're going to take from that conversation and experience?
Yeah, obviously keep thinking big, make sure you've got the right people in place. There was quite a lot of interest showing as well, even though I got the red lights as such. But yeah, just keep listening, keep learning, and yeah, that's
brilliant. Hi Greg, welcome
Hello.
to Property Elevator.
Thank you.
Tell me firstly a little bit about you and your background.
Well, I came to from America to Wales in 1990 to stay for 12 months, and I ended up staying. I'm still here. I did a master's degree, and then I did a master's in business, and started working with companies around the world. And then I started doing properties. Did my first 4-bed, 1-bath conversion into 7-bed, 13 license.
Wow.
Got a commercial valuation, and then started from there and just kept going.
Well, best of luck. I know this means a lot to you. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to chat to you when you get out, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
You head up those stairs.
Hello, Angels. My name is
Hello.
Greg Howard. I'm originally from California, came over for 12 months to do a master's degree, and ended up staying. I'm here 33 years later. In 2014, I did my first property without any training whatsoever. Spent 6 weeks, 6 days a week, 6 guys. Converted a 4-bed, 1-bath into a 7-bed license for 13. Started working with the council, emergency housing, which was quite amazing. And then they got a bit rough on the house, so I started working on professionals. Now, turning to the deal. There's loads of charities in the UK that focus on vets. So I lost my son after he went to war in Ukraine, Afghanistan, Syria, and Iraq. And that's quite tough. And I promised myself I wasn't going to cry. And I did it myself downstairs and didn't shed a tear. But anyways, I'm quite passionate about helping vets now, so that they can not be isolated and not be depressed and not have PTSD and not be homeless and not have financial problems. And so basically they struggle with all that mental stuff. So I thought that it would be really good to do something for the community while making a few quid. So that's why I'm here. So what we're going to do is my partner in South England, they bought the 5-bed, or the 8-bed, and now we're going to buy another one in North Wales, which is the one I showed you, which is a smashing building. Have you seen the pictures? I mean, it's a stunning 1850 building. And this is just the beginning of something much, much bigger that I want to do. So this is phase 2 of our project. So with my HMO experience, I think it would be quite good to work with one of you on that. So it's a 12-bed HMO. It's got off-road parking and 3 flats, planning permission for 3 more flats. So I'm passionate about doing this while also making a few quid, hopefully with one or more of you. So just to summarize the phases, phase 1, 8-bed, south of England. Phase 2, 12-bed, North Wales. I planted a big seed about helping 183 person families or 500 individual vets, so that we can go nationwide, escalate with your connections with government and with your scalability. It would be nice to integrate them slowly back into the community and then make it a bit more permanent afterwards.
Okay. Greg, how much are you looking for from us today?
Today I'd like to buy the next phase, which is the 12-bed.
The 12-bed, and how much is that?
I'm glad you asked, because it's an off-market property with my accountant. He's offered to give me first refusal.
Great.
And he won't give me a price.
Well, what do you think it's going to be?
I think it'll be easily 400 to 450.
Okay, so it's 450, and what's the rental income at the moment?
So now they're getting around £70,000 a year.
Okay.
And I can easily raise that to 90, because that's how I do it.
Okay, right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Greg. Who would like to go first?
Can I ask about the lease? I'm really interested to know the leases you would get from the council, or is it the lease would come from the charity and there's funding from the government as well? So can you just explain where the tenants would come from in your model and how that's funded and what sort of length of lease you think you would be able to negotiate? In my view, the longer the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me a bit about that.
The
please.
charity has wrapped itself around these various vets, and they're moving into the house in the south. I've got loads of contacts with vets in the north, and we're still negotiating the final bit. There is a bit of a risk there because we're still negotiating it, but it's going to happen. They've promised 60k rent to take the house on completely.
This one here.
Yeah. And we'd be aiming for 4 or 5 year leases like I used to do with the council, which is quite handy. Okay. So the longer the better, I agree.
Can I ask, so you're buying an existing HMO with tenants in situ. Have you checked out the leases that they're on? Because
I'm doing
your
that
intention is to relocate the current tenants to obviously occupy your charity. Is that?
I'm meeting him on Friday. He's been very notoriously difficult to track down. So I've been away since Tuesday in London. So I've talked to them about the rent. I got all the rental figures detailed. So yeah, I'm looking at that on Friday.
And is the charity already involved in the North Wales property, or
Not
are they?
yet. Not yet. So that's the risk.
Existing tenants in there, nothing to do with the charity.
Correct.
But your idea is to bring the charity in and replace those tenants with veterans.
Yeah, or build more properties. That's where the big number comes in. So if we do 2 pilots, one in the south, one in north, and then we fill it up, we negotiate with the government, use maybe your links if you're keen. We get people in, and then we roll out much bigger. That's where
is there a particular charity you have in mind for the North Wales one?
Yeah, there's several. There's combat stress. We've interrogated around 20 or 30 charities. Some of them have seeing eye dogs. Some of them are interested. Some haven't got the funding. So we've got a list of 15 that we're phoning around to basically see.
And there's one or two that have shown interest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anything need to be done to the property to bring it to whatever standard the vets charities need, ensuite bathrooms or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, there's 3 flats, two beds and a 1 bed, and there's planning permission for 3 more. And the outside looks a bit tired, but that's neither here nor there. The inside is all totally livable. It's so that I think I put £1,000 in my deal analysis spreadsheet. It's not a lot. It doesn't need a lot.
What's the exit for the investor? Is this a long-term proposition?
I think that we could do a bit of refurb possibly, and then get your money back fairly quickly. That's not a problem. I did a spreadsheet deal analysis showing 75% loan to value. We could refinance it, pay the investor back, because I think it's a really good cause. And I think if we can give back to society and make a few quid, what's wrong with that?
Scott.
So, I'm going to give you a bit of a balanced view, if I can. So, first of all, almost every good lender that I know of, the ESG will be at the heart at the moment of their business.
Yeah,
and ESG isn't just about environment; it's about social as well. And giving back to society is something that all good businesses want to do. And often it's something that all successful entrepreneurs want to do, self-made entrepreneurs want to do, because they feel that society has given them a lot. On the other hand, lending to charities can be incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, because one of the things that lenders always need to consider is the reputational risk to them and their business if something were to go wrong.
Or if somebody becomes homeless.
So one of the things that lenders do not want to do is to have to take possession of a property where there are vulnerable people in that property. So I'm just going to leave that with you, okay, as a major challenge for this and this opportunity to get funding. I would probably therefore suggest that despite all the ESG, and it's fantastic what you're trying to do, probably you're going to be successful tying up with local authorities.
Yeah, I believe
who want to solve the issue rather than lenders.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it's time for offers, if there are any.
Yeah, please.
So let's. Who would like to start?
I'll go.
Yep.
I really like the idea of this. A lot of my friends are veterans, and I know of a lot of people that have struggled as veterans, and I agree with everything that Scott said just there. It's nice to be able to give back, and I think this is a great way of doing that, whilst also potentially making some money at the same time, which, as I say, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd be interested in getting involved so long as you can demonstrate to me that these charities are getting involved.
Yeah.
So far as I understand, we'd be buying the property, so the lender wouldn't be lending to the charity; they'd be lending to us, and we'd be letting the property to the charity.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Absolutely.
Along the and I'd certainly be interested in doing more of them as well. I've got a site in north of Wales at the moment. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hasn't gone to plan. But I'd like to do one that does go to plan.
Nice. Thank you.
I'll give you whatever money you need. Will you contribute your 100,000? I'll give you the balance, or perhaps we could do a couple. And if we're pretty much putting in equal money, so I'd be willing to split it 50-50 down the middle with you and help you do all the things that you need to do. Or I'd be open to partnering with another angel as well if we could do more of this on a larger scale.
I like the idea of doing more, and I'd be happy to go in with you on that basis. That's the first one we roll.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm really chuffed for that.
An early offers from Ranjan and Paul together. You're trying to team up, you two, a little bit.
We're doing our best.
Not working there, is it, Dan?
Well, not so far. We're not so far, but it's all up to Greg at the end of the day, probably this is going to be. So, Hayley, you are an expert in this field.
Yes, so I hear.
And you used to live in North Wales.
I know Bangor
I'm helping you as much as I can here, Greg.
John, I appreciate it.
I understand. It's a great cause. I understand the vision. I want to be on board with that. I think it's a great thing to do. I love HMOs, and It's right up my street. I'd be more on board if we were to actually do the conversions.
Yeah, I get
buy
that.
residential houses, convert them into licensed HMOs.
is
That
already
would
in
be
that,
no. But he's buying an ongoing concern, so
Correct.
he's paying a premium price. I want to.
Ah, right.
I would rather buy the buildings, convert them into HMOs,
And then get the uplift from that.
get the tenants in with the contacts that you have, and then look at refinance, retain the asset. We're doing good, we're creating good quality accommodation, but we're recycling our capital because we're not paying the premium price because it's an existing HMO.
That's good, really good point.
Yeah, what's your offer?
My offer
Or
is
not.
we look for another property
Okay.
to do this
Happy to do
deal.
that.
Yeah, I'm
That'd be
happy
amazing.
to work
50-50
with you.
basis, or?
Yeah, 50-50.
I'd love that.
Okay.
Okay. Nicholas.
I think you're amazing. I think your story's great.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
your drive and ethics are fantastic. I'd absolutely love to work with you. I'm sure you'll probably get 5 offers today, and I hope you do. I'll offer the same 50-50. I think Hayley's also right. I don't think we should be buying end value HMOs. We should be converting them ourselves and making that extra.
Yeah.
Means we recycle more capital, do more deals. But I'd be happy to work with any of the other angels on this, 1, 2, 3 of them, because the
I
cause
think that's
is
a
so
great idea.
worthwhile.
I think any of us would be happy to work with more than just one other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could all partner up on doing this and really
And
go
there's
into it on a
enough to
larger
go
scale.
around.
And that
This
I
has never
thought-
happened before. We've never offered
All
to
partner together.
partner together.
And we've all been...
Well,
John
John
hasn't.
doesn't
Nice to each
share,
other.
but all 4 of us, I think, are open to
I'll
it.
tell you what. Talk about being. I haven't even made an offer yet. It's a
All
bit
right, go on then,
previous.
John.
Greg might just want to
Stop
work
sitting
with
on
me
the
direct.
fence.
Now, let me tell you where I am. I don't really do HMOs. I love
Yes.
your cause. I think it's great. I've got 1 or 2 political contacts that I'm sure would be helpful
Yeah.
in terms of publicity, if nothing else, and bits and bobs. However, I actually think that these guys are far better qualified on this than I am. And you've got 4 great offers. So
Let's do
I
it.
think I'm going to say no to you today and wish you all the very best of luck. You've got 4 offers. You don't need a 5th, I don't think. So it's up to you to decide.
I think
what
it's a
you'd like.
no-brainer, isn't it?
What, sharing, all 4 people
All 4
sharing?
of us
Yes.
will work together, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy just for the principle of sharing. I mean,
Yep.
you know, it's the cause and we can do more. It's the doing more that I'm after.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
where we're going next.
Okay.
Well, you're being offered a substantial amount of resources. and
Serious
experience.
contacts. And it's fantastic. It was a dream.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And
Well
that's the
done.
first. That's the
It's the first time that's happened, yeah. Oh my God. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, man. Ranjan. Great to see you.
Well done. Well, amazing. What is it? Well, inspiring. What a lovely man.
Inspiring.
I mean, there's 5. I mean, what can go wrong with 5 of us? 4 of us is probably okay.
I think that's great. We've created our own little charitable cause there.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel good about this.
yeah, so do I.
It's like a property elevator partnership.
Without me.
Without John.
Right.
So that's the
well,
perfect
John just puts us
combination.
in touch with all his government
Yeah,
contacts.
yeah. We'll just
we'll be happy.
squeeze John.
John, you can be a resident.
Yeah. God help me. I tell you what, if things don't go well, I might have to be.
Greg,
Oh my God.
wow, I feel
Can you
like we
believe
need
it?
a hug. Absolutely
Stunning, amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic, yeah. And that is actually a property elevator first. There's
Is
never
it?
been 4 angels that have partnered up together before. So you've got Ranjan, Nicholas, Paul, and Hayley on your team.
That
What a
alone,
team to have.
that alone is worth its weight in gold, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. How was the whole experience?
Oh,
for you?
fantastic. I did kind of lose it when I was talking about, you know, my stepson, but basically I was playing on the social impact, make a few quid, do something for society. And I had a
Absolutely.
feeling they would grab that, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Well, you can totally see that your project comes from the heart and it means a lot to you, and that very much translated to the angels. So huge congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm really excited to see how it all develops
Thank
and
you very much.
progresses. But thanks so much for
And
coming
you,
on the
thank you so
show.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Shem, welcome.
Hello, hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, got a little bit of nerves, or are we feeling all good?
I'm okay, as best as I can be.
Good, we're confident and we're ready. Love that. And what's been your experience in property so far?
Okay, so my career has been as the head of ops for a commercial interior and architectural company for the past 6 years. Before that, I headed up a build team of 12 guys doing interior design and installations. I've also done some flips myself, and now I'm a landlord, holding, so
Brilliant.
I have some commercial experience here and there.
She's a power woman. Love that.
I'm trying.
Well, I'll hold you there because I don't want to know any more. We're going to let the angels pull that out of you. But good luck. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you.
And we're going to send you up there right now. Enjoy.
Hi angels, my name's Shem, and today I'm presenting to you a office to residential conversion. It's based in High Wycombe. It's 335 square foot, based in a gated courtyard with full planning permission or permitted development permission under Class MA to convert into 6 one-bed flats and 1 two-bed flat, so 7 flats total. And today I'm looking for 478k towards the purchase cost, which is 690. The build cost is around 370k, which will be on 100% development finance, and the GDV of the deal is around 1.4 million.
Okay. Ranjan, would you like to start?
Yes. I think I know this property.
Oh.
I was offered it at one time. Do you know much about the history of this property?
I do. So it's was part of a trust that owns a lot of commercial in High Wycombe, and they're trying to sell it on because at the moment obviously a lot of people are working from home, etc. So there's quite a lot of square footage available to convert.
I think the question I'm trying to get at is it's part of a courtyard development of 12 office buildings.
Yeah.
And there is a sort of estate charge payable to the people to maintain that courtyard setup. So have you checked to see, because you can get PD from the council, they'll give you the Class MA, they'll give you the permitted development rights, but is there a covenant on that freehold that prevents it being converted to residential?
No. So
has that been checked?
Yes, I have checked. So I actually spoke with the vendor ahead of being here, and basically they've gone through, they've got the permission, they've also started with the, what's the word? They've gone through the checks to start. So they've done the acoustics, asbestos, parking for the highway control, they've done parking, acoustics, daylight, sunlight.
Contamination and flooding would be two
Exactly, a zone 1, so it's low. So the answer is yes.
Yes, but have they checked the ultimate, the people that maintain all the courtyard, whether they don't have a covenant which would be on the freehold title?
From my understanding, when I had my conversation 2 days ago, we're ready to build. It's all fine to build. If I need to give you, I know what you're asking me. A covenant's under it. I understand what you're saying because there's 2 other people also in that courtyard who have done.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
And Ranjan, I don't think they'd be spending the money on all those reports without checking that.
I've seen it happen, honestly. I have seen it happen.
Have you? Yeah. Okay.
Because people do the PD and they don't realise that they think the PD.
They can't actually build it.
They can't. They don't realise there's someone else to ask permission.
Anybody would think you weren't here, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Shem. At the end of the day, you've answered the question very well, so well done.
Very good.
Paul,
Thank you.
what are your thoughts?
The investment you need from us, I think you mentioned the purchase price is what you were looking for.
Yeah, it's 690, but the build cost is around 370, and I would need to get 100% development finance to build that out. Well, convert it as opposed, because it's not a ground up. So the 470 is to purchase. I have to get the rest on senior finance, and then a proportion of that money can start with the first tranche of build costs, which is quite low. When I spoke to my broker, he said I can start at around 30 because of the GDV, but yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past?
Sure.
Please?
So my career has been as the head of ops for a global commercial architectural group. I also headed up a build team of 12 guys for an interior design company, doing interior and installations for commercial builds. I'm also a landlord. I was flipping prior, but now I think it's best for me to hold, so I'm doing that now. So I'm not a complete novice to commercial because of my career, but this is a larger scale than what I have done prior. So that's why I'm here today.
So stepping up a little bit, but you've got a brilliant background so far.
Yeah,
Thank
congratulations.
How big's your portfolio? To get a bit more information on
So
that.
right now I'm only holding a single unit
Okay.
because, as I said before, I was flipping.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Can I ask, is your intention to sell these units?
Yes, that is my
So
intention.
what's the breakdown, the 6 beds, how much are they selling for?
So I have 1,957 for the first 5 flats, 206 for a third flat because it's got a balcony, so it's a slight premium, and then there's a 2-bed flat at the top, more I wouldn't say quite penthouse style, but it's 267,800.
Okay, and who's given you these prices?
Myself. So I looked online with PropTech tools, as well as speaking to about 3 different agents, and then some research on mouse price to see to actualize those costs.
Are they sold comparables?
Yeah.
So, What are you offering us? So we put the 400 and...
Yes, that's what the offer is.
No, but I mean, so what do I get?
So the split I'm hoping is around 60-40, obviously negotiable, because
In whose favour?
in your favour. Your favour, of course, because obviously you
Well,
guys
it won't be in my favour because you can see.
a ton of experience.
Oh, John's already. He's not in.
Okay. So
Red light.
red light, understood. Okay.
Go on then, 60-40, you were saying.
In your favour of the gross profit, obviously that's open to any negotiation. I can see you guys might want to negotiate on that a lot harder because...
Okay. Any more questions, or shall we go to Scott?
Let's go, Scott.
Scott.
Hi, Shem. Thank you for that. One of the things that's really, really important to a lender is that the borrower makes money. Okay, and makes plenty of it for the reason that, first of all, the lender's success is your success, the interests are aligned. Okay, and number 2, actually, there is the potential for an ongoing future relationship backing someone on a journey.
Yeah.
Right. So if I then look at the numbers on this,
Yeah.
the GDV 1.4 million, you could typically get loan to GDV of say 65%.
60, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is give or take £1 million.
Yeah.
That £1 million needs to include the interest that gets rolled up
Yeah.
during
At
the
the
project.
end of the term. Yeah.
Okay. If I then look at the total cost for the project, you've got the 690 purchase price and the 370 conversion cost.
Yeah.
That stands you in at 1.06 million cash out.
Yeah.
Already that's above the £1 million, including the interest that gets rolled up against the GDV at 65%. Okay, so that's all got to be paired right back in order for it to stack from a lending perspective. So it might be that you'd get, from a lending perspective, 900 cash. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you got 900 cash, that does include the full conversion cost. Yeah. So take that 370 conversion cost off the 900 in cash, gets you to what, 530, give or take. Mm-hmm. So 530 left over towards the purchase price. There's obviously then a shortfall that needs to be covered.
Yeah, because of your experience.
Okay, right. Good. So cutting to the chase, personally, I think this is quite a marginal deal in terms of the profit that comes from it.
Yeah. What about negotiation on price?
Pardon?
What about negotiation on price?
I think that's the route to go down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an open route.
So just in terms of that, it looks like, again, the numbers, okay, that you might be paying 100 to 150 grand too much.
Yeah.
For the property.
Yeah.
It's kind of just on a fag packet way of working it out.
Yeah. That's actually, it's funny you said that, because when I had the meeting, I mentioned that. I said, you're baking in maybe over 100K there. And then he was a bit like, well, I am open to negotiations.
Okay,
So,
okay, good.
The problem is that some people are underestimating the build costs in particular and overpaying and getting too excited to do the deal. So this guy's in trouble. So is this the sort of deal I'd like to do? Yes. Is this a sort of deal I could help you do profitably? Yes. But this is about taking away the emotion and going in there with an offer at what it's worth.
Okay.
And if that guy has to take a haircut, so be it.
Fine. That makes sense. I mean, it's property business at the end of the day.
It's profitability.
Exactly. Okay, so we're now going to go to the offers. I'll go first because you can see I'm out.
Yes, understood.
I am too.
Paul is too. What I would say, you're very credible.
Thank you.
I would love to work with you in future, but I think this deal just isn't good enough.
Okay.
And you can find better. You're better than this, and you can find better in my view.
Well, when I do, I'll come back to you. But hopefully we can try and make this one work as well.
So, Ranjan.
Well, my offer to you is simply that we look to do it together based on giving him a fire sale price.
Okay.
And let's sit down and work that out. We'll do it 60-40, and we'll be emotionless about it. We'll put in the offer together. We'll work out what the best offer is that makes it work for us and offer that in an emotionless way. If it happens, great for us. If it doesn't, we do something else.
Understood.
I'll just say why I'm out. That's all right. Just sort of echoing some of what's already been said. I think this site has too many complications for such a small margin.
Yes.
So I think if Rajan can get the price down for you, great. But based upon the deal that's been presented today, it's not one for me.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Who would like to go next? Hayley, would you like to go next?
It doesn't stack for me, unfortunately. I want more.
Okay.
For me, like I could almost copy what Ranjan said and say, I'd love to do this deal with you. I'd love to offer the right price and see if we can get it bought for that. But what I think Ranjan might have missed is that you're basing your numbers on £94 per square foot for an office conversion. I think that almost needs to be doubled, if not more.
Doesn't
and so
need to
there's
be
no
doubled.
way.
I don't think it needs to be doubled.
But there's no way you can build this and make it profitable. He's not going to sell this for 300 grand, which is where it needs to be to make money on this. So I'm sorry, on that sole basis, I'm not going to invest. But good luck. And
Thank you very much.
hopefully, if you choose Ranjan, you can get it for a steal.
Okay.
So you have a potential offer from Ranjan.
Yeah.
If you can pull the figures together correctly in the right way and get it for the right price.
Yeah.
300.
Let's stack it. Let's work out what the best price is to offer that makes us make money, and let's offer it. Let's put it and just justify the offer to the vendor.
And may I ask, would this be contingent on doing other things if this didn't work?
Why wouldn't we? Of course we want to do that stuff.
So then, yes, I would love to take up your
Fantastic.
offer.
Well done. Well done, Ranjan.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Well done.
Thank you very much, Ranjan. Thank you.
Well done.
Bye, Angels. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Well done.
Well done.
Thank you, everybody. Bye,
Congratulations.
Angels.
Well done.
Oh, dear.
Well, you finally got one in the bag, Ranjan. That's a good effort.
Yeah, as long as the vendor will drop their trousers on the deal.
The vendor's in trouble.
It was probably only because we all said no.
Yeah.
The vendor's in trouble, and there's nothing to lose, really. What I always people have got to be comfortable about offering what a place is worth.
Shem, congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. I'm very happy.
Good, good. So you got an offer off Ranjan.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about what he said there.
So he's offered to purchase this at the right cost with me, if we can negotiate it down. Otherwise, we'll have a JV and do future ventures together.
Great. So that is a fantastic outcome. Well, our angels have flown in and are certainly back with a bang. They were as hungry as ever for today's deals, but the question is, will they be as hungry for the next candidates? We'll see you next time on Property Elevator.